No, seriously. How does this elevator work? I hear some of you saying, oh, look at that. There's a screw mechanism under it, and that does not answer my question. Hello, and welcome to a little bit of an odd one. We're going to be examining some of the many elevators of Dark Souls. Look at how it's actually moving. Maybe if we peek under the map, we can see what mechanism is moving the damn shit. Well, that's not very illuminating. But it's not exactly surprising that FromSoft chose a screw to be what allegedly moves the elevator. After all, screws move themselves and can move other things. This is a screw of Archimedes. You put it on a slant and screw the screw and it elevates a thing. It's a red ball in this animation. The gravitational potential the stuff is acquiring, is coming from, ultimately, is whatever is turning the screw. Manpower, electricity, or whatever. Something has to be doing work on the screw so that the screw can enact an unbalanced force on the stuff to move it. Notice any difference between these two mechanisms? The elevator is rotating and translating at the same time. Screws do this in real life, but when you screw a screw into a piece of wood, the angled plane of the screw pushes on the wood, creating a force with a component in the direction of further into the wood, which is what pushes the screw. So that moves the screw into the wood. So what's moving the screw is the force of the material the angled plane is pushing on. So what's the screw pushing on? The air? Does Anor Londo have Venus atmosphere where you lift off if you extend your arms to the side in a brisk walk? If you wanted this mechanism to make way more sense, the screw would not be rotating as the elevator ascends. There could be some wedge attached to an internal wall of this column that's holding the elevator, which would move in a circle, pushing the screw upwards without rotating it. Like the screw of Archimedes, except instead of the screw rotating to translate the ball, you rotate the ball around the central shaft to translate the screw. The wedge would stay at a constant altitude, rotating around the central column to push the screw up. So maybe the screw part doesn't actually matter at all. Maybe there's some magic that is both translating the elevator up and screwing the screw part. But then, if you have some external force rotating the screw and translating the elevator upwards, why create the facade of a mechanical reason for the elevator to function? Is it really just for aesthetics? Magic elevators exist, though these ones are kind of in the past. This is the part of the video where I show how shaky my lore knowledge actually is. This takes place during a time after Artorias has gone abyss crazy, so the Knights of Gwyn exist. And so what would they be Knights of Gwyn for if not partially protecting Anor Londo? Are these magic elevators actually innovations upon the Anor Londo elevator? Is Anor Londo that old? Which of these elevators was built first? I have no clue. Take a look at this marble pattern. You know where else you see this marble pattern? Well, at the bottom of this elevator, sure. But nowhere else, right? I tried looking around Anor Londo for another place you see this marble pattern. Sure, you see places where a similar stone has been cut to make some patterns, but I couldn't find this design anywhere else. Even though I did find this stone in other places, including in the elevators in ONS's room. Oh, hold on, I gotta deal with something first before I can show you. They even added this cut of stone to the little trims on these pillars. They didn't have to do all that. In conclusion, I actually have no idea how this elevator works, and I cannot answer the title of the video. Let's get this one out of the way. Magic elevator. It moves by magic. I am satisfied. Moving on. There is an elevator in Firelink Shrine that goes up to the Undead Parish that I want to explore. Presumably it moves by counterweight logic, but... well, listen to the thoughts I had while gathering the footage. If we actually take a peek, we see something a little strange. So the chains just kind of go up for a long time. But, you know, that's fine. Nobody asked for... Well, I guess I am. I am asking for realistic elevator in my video game. But I swear that you can't see those change. Yeah. So look at that. They pull a trick on you. Here? Chains? I wonder if you can see them from out here. Yeah, you can see the chains from out here, actually. I've never noticed this before. You can see those chains loaded outside of there. But then once you go up, they're deloaded. I have never noticed that before. Anyway, once you take one of these down, this state of elevator will not repeat. There will always be one up and one down. So let's see if we can examine this mechanism, find anything wrong with it. Obviously the chains just going off into nowhere is a problem. And even if you look from inside the elevator, it's not clear where what mechanism is moving it up and down. Since the first time you take one of these elevators is down, I will be sort of half convinced that the whole deal is a counterweight thing, where the reason this elevator can go up is because there's another elevator that's already up, and you trade that elevator's potential energy for this one's. Once you step on this one, it goes up, and we should see the other one come down. There it goes. But that can't be the whole story, because that elevator did not move between me going down. So I came up along with the elevator, and I ended up at the same Y level as that other elevator with no person on it. That should not be able to happen. If we go under here... Whoops. Maybe this mechanism can illuminate us. If we inspect the chain, it kind of just stops at this wheel. I'm not sure what this is supposed to mean. Maybe if I get on it, I will be illuminated. These little things look like wheels, but they are not spinning. And these chains are not actually... the chain is not moving. It's just like translating up and down. It's not changing how much chain is above or below these parts. These little circles. So what actually is supposed to be moving the elevator? You would think it would be a big pulley at the top here. You would think that it would be this chain is actually... These two chains that I'm looking at right now are actually the same chain connected by a pulley up top. But, I mean, we know that's not the case. Maybe these little guys are supposed to be the pulleys connecting the chains, but then how does that work? Are you telling me this chain goes down into the pulley in the bottom elevator, comes back up, there's a pulley up top, it comes back down, that's another pulley, it goes inside the elevator and then back up? Are you telling me this is actually only 2 chains for this mechanism instead of the 8 that it seems like it is? I'm not sure. I don't know how this elevator works. I'm not sure how this elevator works is going to be a reoccurring theme in this video. Here is the elevator. Let's crank it to maybe see how it works. There's some gears, some rotatey bits under there. But just seeing that didn't do much, so maybe we get under it. Might be able to see a little bit more how it works. Alright, I'm gonna save us all a bit of time here and just cut to the part where I get to a perspective that actually helps me understand the mechanism. Okay, so here's the alleged gear mechanism. So, I believe what is supposed to happen is that once you turn these start spinning in opposite directions. Yeah, they're spinning in opposite directions. The teeth are gripping in to the outside here to pull the wheel up. But in order for it to go down, you just kind of have to let go of the gear a little bit so that it still resists going down, because you don't want to just freewheel it all the way down. That's it. You free fall, you die. So what's interesting to me is that if we actually look at this mechanism, this gear is rotating clockwise as seen from this direction, meaning its teeth are gripping into this surface to pull it upwards. But if we look at this over here, we have the same design. Meaning while the gear is turning, teeth are gripping into this piece of material to push it up. But assuming that this is the same sort of dealio, the teeth should be gripping into this too, but these teeth are coming up because this is rotating clockwise. So these should be acting as an equal force pushing down. So this elevator should not move. Unless, of course, the turning gear is not what is providing the energy. There's not, like, there's some sort of motor turning the gear. That's what's providing the energy. Maybe it's these little things on the side that are providing the energy. Maybe these are meant to be conveyor belt like contraptions, where this whole column of black teeth is supposed to be translating up and down, which is what rotates the gear. So you can sort of see that if this column of black teeth were translating upwards, that would cause the wheel to rotate clockwise, causing its teeth to grip into this column, causing the force upwards. And then the same thing for going back down, but just in reverse. These would go down. And maybe I'm actually going to investigate to see if that is the case. Go up. There's no... Maybe this is like a central band running around the thing. But if we go down to the bottom, it doesn't look like that's actually the case. And if we see it moving, doesn't look like it's moving. If we actually see it moving, it's obvious that that's not what's happening either. Conclusion, I don't know how it works. We have another elevator to investigate. This one, near Firelink Shrine, is in New Londo. Or it's in Firelink Shrine, it goes to New Londo. And there's even another other one in New Londo that you can take that goes to Darkroot Garden. We're gonna find out how that one works too. So here again, we see another chain-based elevator. You would think that means pulley. If we actually take a peek, I mean, I am going to conjecture that they pull the same trick as they do with the gargoyle elevator, where the chains just go up. And indeed, that is exactly what's happening. The chains just go up forever. And there has to be some sort of loading trigger. Look at this. This is where the Firekeeper is. I can talk to her. Interesting. Even in that state. So they eventually pull some sort of trick where they deload these chains. It's fine. If we step on it, we get lowered down. But what is actually lowering us? I'm not sure. If we take a peek under the elevator, what do we see? Well, we see some gears attached to nothing. I mean, that's fine. And we see one of these bad boys. Whoops. Whoops. Now this could actually make sense. If some sort of motor was running this, and it was climbing the chain, it would have to mean that the chains are actually stationary, and just this platform is moving. But that's not what we see. We don't see the chains stationary. Because, like, imagine these performing the same function as human legs while climbing a rope. The rope stays where it is, but these just do work, enacting force on the rope, which ultimately goes to whatever it's tied to push you upwards. But if we actually go on this elevator, the chains go up with us. Now, I'm going to activate this to see if those things actually spin. Too low. Ah. I didn't see them spinning. In any case, what that means for us is I don't know how this elevator works. What's up, Ingward? Where's your key? Alright, we gotta do this the hard way, huh? Sorry, Ingward. You have the key to the seal I need.
Oh, you are no different from the rest. So... How could I...
Sorry, my guy. We got places to be. Oh, by the way, another elevator. Just thought you should know. This one appears to be the same as the other one, which we did not know how it worked. The chains move up as it moves, which means I do not know how this elevator works. Okay, We are now going to the elevator that I believe possibly makes the most sense in the entire game. Just have to go on a little walk to everyone's favorite place, Blight Town. You win this round. Ayo. Okay. Bada bum. Hey, what's up, dude? Sorry. Oh, I need a key to the depths. Dapper Demon, I need a key to the depths. Thank you. Hello, rat. There's our rat vanity. Oh, I need a Blight Town key for this, don't I? Alright, hold on. You live! You live again! Wow, that was crazy. Excuse me, I'm just coming through. You lived that? You're crazy. This elevator. This elevator makes the most sense out of any elevator in the whole game. And I'll tell you why. Number one, it is very clear what is turning this elevator. Is that big gear down there. I could have sworn this elevator was powered by water, but... Huh. Well, it turns out it doesn't make as much sense as I thought. Where is this mechanical energy coming from? Oh. Nowhere. Very cool. I thought there were dogs in here running around. Or I guess trying to run in a straight line. And then that energy would be used to turn the wheel. But it turns out what's turning the wheel is nothing. Fascinating. Blight Town elevator. Magic. It's my official ruling. Sorry if I lag. Your time is up. One more elevator. Look at this bad boy. Oh, whoops. 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 Hello, Demon Fire Sage. I suppose I should... there we go. Demon's Catalyst, yeah. Alright, so this seems very obvious to me. It is clear that what is moving the elevator is demon magic. This elevator... I know how this elevator works. Also, I think this is the only elevator in the game that behaves like this. Where if you just wait for it at wherever it isn't, it just comes to you. Due to the aforementioned demon magic. So, that's neat. I never noticed these guys before. That's new. To my recollection, there are no important elevators in Lost Izalith. So, that is all the elevators I wanted to cover. What did we learn?